Have you ever heard from loved ones, even perhaps your children as they get a little older? I wish we had videos of our parents before they passed. Perhaps you've overheard other people say, I wish we knew more about our grandparents. I wish we could have heard their stories when they were our age. There is a photography studio owned by Adam Cooper, who does videographies, and he specializes in interviewing in your own home, your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, anyone who wants to tell their story. And I look at it as a living memorial. I think this is really important in the age that we live. Time passes so quickly. The memories that we have are fleeting. I also think that because sometimes we are living longer, we do witness our parents, maybe our grandparents, aunts, uncles, becoming ill in their later stages of life. And that memory is somewhat difficult to get rid of, which I think is another reason why Adam's service doing the videography called Our Life Story, Your Life Story, is important to think about now and entertaining a call to him and asking him questions about how exactly this works. Because you do want to remember your loved ones when they were healthy. I know one of my best friends in New York, her husband recently died. He was in his 80s. He did suffer at the end. He had COVID really bad. And this was just a couple of months ago. Tom led a great life. He was really active. They owned a couple of acres of land in Rhinebeck, New York. He was always on the tractor mowing. He grew amazing gardens. Really a vital person. I wish that Lynn had something like this, a living memorial, so that he could talk about his life. They have one of the oldest contiguous acres in Rhinebeck. It's a historical property just because it's been around since 1600 or something. But he could talk about his past and his relatives, and it would have been a great interview to talk to him before he became ill. And that's one of the reasons why I think Adam's videography is so important for people to look at and really want to use his services, because people want to tell their stories. This podcast, At Our Age, focuses specifically on active and adventurous seniors. Therefore, when Adam does interview the people, or you could have someone who's already close to them interview the people, when he comes to your house, when his team comes to their house, their setting, then you can certainly use his team, or you can have one of your own people interview one of the person who the videography is going to be about. I think when we do something like this, that it captivates their spirit. Therefore, it's something that we can look at when we feel, because haven't you heard people say, I feel I'm going to forget them? And after maybe a year or two, you can look back on this. You can play the video over. This will last a lifetime. It even says on Adam's services that this is a private link that you can share with other friends. And let me share with you that if you do use Adam's services doing a videography, send me the link and I'm happy to put it on this podcast At Our Age, so you will be a living memory, because this podcast lives off in perpetuity. Whatever. Perpetuity. It lives on forever. You can't get rid of a podcast unless I delete it. So I think that's a really good service that Adam Cooper offers to people. The videography, he has 35 years of experience and really technical experience, because he was a medical photographer for a very long time. And actually, from what I was researching, he actually was sometimes in the surgery rooms. This has got to be a lot more enjoyable and not as gory. So remember that this is something to think about while your loved ones are alive and well. everybody likes to talk about themselves. But what's nice about this is that Adam and his team will edit it so it's concise. It won't be rambling. It will tell a very nice story. I believe you have an hour of time with him, and he edits it down to what's appropriate length that you would like. The other part is that when you do the videography, when you sign up with him, he comes in, he does the design and planning discussion. They review and revise questions, the video content that you want. Then they schedule the video production. There's a video preview, and then the final cut, which is, of course, the editing. They come in with their lights and their camera right there where you're comfortable. But I just think this is such a great idea. It's one of the reasons why I started my podcast at our age, because there's so many people between 60s, 80s, and up they still have the music in them, as Bob Proctor would say. And don't let them go to their grave without telling their story. Because really, our seniors have so much to say, and Adam can help them tell it in an elegant and eloquent manner. His podcast on my podcast details all of Adam's information and his contact, and there's a link to his biography so you can even learn more about him. Strongly suggest you look this up, because I have seen more reunions this summer, more events with grandparents, even great-grandparents. One of the guys who volunteers at our Gulfport Community Garden, he said he is the great-grandparent of at least 6 children. I mean, think about that. That's amazing. And his whole summer is back in Ohio, where he and his wife visit all these great-grandkids and grandkids. And this would be a perfect time for Adam to do a videography. So, Adam, I'm going to have to get you and John to have a conversation when he comes back to Florida. By the way, that is the other thing, is that Adam does just work in South Florida, so that's something to take into consideration. To segue into another person I have met, which has to do with family events in a way, is this gentleman, Brian. He has a service that's called Nalo Life. This is self-curated travel. He says it's net, which means that you're not laying out really more money every time you plan your own vacation, your own trip. The Nalo Life is membership. It's a month by month. There is no contract, but not only is it for airlines and hotels, but it's for sports events. It's for entertainment. It's a nice way to also have a package if you're looking to do a cruise, maybe for your grandparents or your parents. This is a great bargain to get travel, sports tickets, entertainment tickets as a gift. Combine that with this videography, and you don't have to buy any more presents for the rest of your grandparents or your parents for the rest of your life. Just an idea. Nalo Life, again, that's going to be in my podcast details also. Remember, this is At Our Life, At Our Age. I produce this once a week with active and adventurous seniors. We are all about people who are living an amazing life from now until, their mid-80s. I'm Valerie Hale, At Our Age, produced once a week. Please check out my podcast details to find out more information about Adam Cooper Studios. Also, Nalo Life. Merci et au revoir.